people they have joined. We'll also live in the YouTube. So other than registration, they will see this program live on YouTube. In 120 years of the journey of the plant culture, starting from the concept of totipotency, plant culture technology has come a long way. This is the promising potential tool for R&D, research and development in agriculture, but also for the commercialization. It has well commercialized and witnessed great success in many countries, including India. However, its potential is yet to be fully realized. This is only possible by adopting quality management practices. Series of this 4 webinar, and to start with is root, tuber, and banana. It will deliberate on all the crucial aspects which will decide the way forward. With this request, with this word, I request our Managing Director, Dr. Purnima Sharma, who is heading this organization and leading all the activities from the front. I request her to deliver a welcome note and formally start this program. Thank you so much. I welcome you once again, one and all. Madam, Dr. Purnima Sharma, it is over to you. Dr. Purnima ma'am. I request Dr. Purnima Sharma ma'am to deliver a welcome note. Just wait for a moment. She got some very urgent call from Department of Biotechnology, and she had to attend for a few moments. So before she comes in and she delivers the welcome note, and for a few seconds, I'd like to just inform that this webinar will have 4 presentations, 2 from academia, 2 from industry. So it's a complete blend of the academic insights, then its commercialization. Followed by, we'll have panel discussion. In between, we'll have poll 3 times so that we'll get insight from the audience. As well as we have dedicated session for the question answer. So we'll address the queries of audience. At the end, we'll note all the recommendations so that will be sum up and that will pave the way for the next course of action. And just for the information, today our Director General ICR, Secretary there, she's got sudden preoccupation. There is a program of Prime Minister of India, and he's interacting with 700 KBKs. So she got preoccupied, and but she has sent a greeting message for this success of this webinar.
Dr. Shukla, till Dr. Purnima is busy, may we request
No,
Dr.
she is-
Ravi Khetarpal?
So I would request Dr. Ravi Khetarpal sir to chair this webinar, and we till the time Madam joining. I think she's connecting the audio. We can wait just for a moment. Dr. Purnima ma'am. I think she's facing some network trouble. So I would request Dr. Ravi Khetarpal, Executive Director APARI, to kindly place an opening remark and probably open this webinar. Khetarpal sir, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shukla. Well, it's a pleasure to give the opening speech where Dr. Purnima Sharma is like struggling to join. Okay, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are, to everyone. I would like to say here a big thank you to Dr. Purnima Sharma in absentia, who is Managing Director BCIL, for partnering with APARI in this endeavor. And distinguished speakers, panelists, participants from across Asia and Africa, the numbers are encouraging. And the key players who are steering the webinar, Dr. S.N. Shukla and Dr. Rishi Tyagi, and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of APARI and on my personal behalf, I have the pleasure to welcome you all in this webinar series. This is first in the series, which is being jointly organized by APARI and its program of Asia Pacific Consortium of Agriculture Biotechnology, APCOP, with Biotech Consortium of India Limited, BCIL, for popularizing plant tissue culture in Asia Pacific region and African countries towards realizing its potential. First of all, we are going to have in the series, the first of the webinar is focused on banana root and tubers, which are very, very important crops, as you all know, especially banana and potato, if I have to highlight. However, before going into the technical part, which you all will be deliberating in the coming 2 hours, I would like to give a brief glimpse on APARI, Asia Pacific Association of Agriculture Research Institution, which I represent, and my colleague, Dr. Rishi Tyagi also. APARI is a membership-based organization established by Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations way back in 1990. It has a clear vision of strengthening agri-food research and innovation system for sustainable development in the Asia-Pacific region. And we have a clear strategic plan, which we follow with our members on 4 thematic areas. Number 1 is natural resource management, which covers biotechnology and bioresource, where our program on EPCOP is playing an important role, and we thank Council of Agriculture Taiwan for supporting this program mainly, and Dr. Rishi Tyagi is leading that program. Then we work on risk mitigation, where we work on pesticide risk mitigation, pest risk, and phytosanitary capacity development and all, with the projects from WTO in South and Southeast Asia and Pacific, and also with support from USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. We also work a lot on innovation system with support from FAO, European Union, French Agency for Development, and some other organizations. At this juncture, I would like to say, APARI worked closely with Forum of Agriculture Research in Africa and with African Agriculture Advisory Services, AFAS, of the GFRAS, through Global Forum of Agriculture Research and Innovation and through Topical Agriculture Platform, but mainly on the agriculture innovation system in Asia and Africa. Now, Biotech Consortium, I'm sure Dr. Purnima, once she joins, she will speak in detail, but what I can say is, this is a very important public limited company supported by Ministry of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, which is an excellent agency for facilitating the commercialization of biotech products and processes through technology transfer, knowledge dissemination, capacity building, and so on. Now, BCIL, though initially worked at national level, I knew it when it was formed way back, and now has a global outreach. It has its footprints in all sectors of biotechnology, be it healthcare, agriculture, environment, and process industry. Now, as you all know, partnership is the key to move forward. And partnership is the most crucial sustainable development goal number 70. And APARI has partnered with BCIL on some very important aspects, which include these webinar series and promotion of plant tissue culture across Asian and African continent. And so also in the Asia-Pacific region, we have partnered with some global experts to develop a policy resource document on genome editing, which would be forthcoming in the coming months, for which the basic homework has been done. For both APARI and BCIL, networking is at the heart of our approach to help these stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? The scientific community and the civil society. Coming to this webinar for popularization of plant tissue culture in Asia and Africa, apart from what we are going to listen today on banana, root, and tuber crops, we will have the webinars in the coming time on perennial fruits and cash crop, on tree and ornamental plants, and also on woody plants. So it is a very holistic webinar series. You should really watch out for the announcements of the forthcoming webinars also. Today we have very eminent speakers from India and Nigeria, and a galaxy of panelists from Taiwan, Bangladesh, Uganda, and India. It's a pleasure to have all of them on this platform. And the best part for me is they represent a blend of public and private sector, which is actually the way to move forward. Well, not to say much on the technical part, that I leave it to the experts. I will just say key messages or key takeaways for participants for Asia and Africa, and especially for my APARI members. This is a platform you get updated knowledge on where we are with crop-specific tissue culture approaches, methodologies, challenges, and opportunities to experts and panelists. Make the best use of it. Please see the opportunities, areas of collaboration in research and development and innovation. Please look at area of collaboration through projects for promoting tissue culture and entrepreneurship in the area of tissue culture. Lot of research and development has come up over the years in the field of tissue culture. We need to be mindful of the fact that it is an era of innovations. And my request to all participants, to all speakers, panelists, is to ensure that they capture innovations in the area of tissue culture and promote a multi-stakeholder working environment culture. We should think of capacity building in a holistic manner, not only building individual capacity. We have a module for capacity building in a comprehensive way where we build individual capacity, institutional capacity, and the capacity of the enabling environment, which are the policies or the regulatory things, all of which have to fall in place if we really want to move ahead with capacity building in any technical field, including tissue culture. And we should be mindful of not only focusing on technical capacities, we need to blend functional capacities, the soft skills, along with technical capacity, so that we train people who are not only trained individually, but they have capacity to carry it further for collaborations, for policy strengthening, and for making a dent in the field to see that more people are trained in the coming years. I may like to conclude here by saying that for many of my APARI members and for those from Asia and Africa, anyone who wish to promote biotechnology, if you really wish to promote biotechnology, BCIL as an institution or a company or an enterprise can be a good example or model to emulate. It is not tissue culture alone. What BCIL doing is much beyond that in the field of biotechnology as an agency supporting the government and global agencies. And BCIL, if you understand BCIL properly, I think that itself will pave way for you to move ahead in a structured way in biotechnology, which will help the government, which will help the community, which will help the smallholder farmers eventually. With these words, I would like to stop here. I welcome all of you once again, and I thank you all for participating. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Khetrapal sir, for your kind words and the continued support for the BCIL and its program and your vision for sustainable development. We are all benefited by your wisdom, support, and keen involvement for such developmental program since the past many years. So, as I got a call from Dr. Purnima Sharma ma'am, and there is some personal exigency, and she's not able to join, and she had to move somewhere. So let me formally welcome you, one and all, for this important webinar, which is aiming towards the quality management practices for plant culture sector and ultimately for the sustainable development. So at the outset, I would express deep gratitude to APARI. I welcome Dr. Ravi Khetrapal sir, formerly Executive Secretary from APARI, and he has served KB and many renowned institutions and contributed a lot. Dr. Rishi Tyagi, who is involved for such development program for long time, and is supporting such program in a big way in entire Asia Pacific region. I welcome you all along with the entire APARI team. Dr. S. Uma, who is the director of the NRC Banana Trichy, who is today traveling to Tanzania. She could not join, but Dr. R. Silvirajan is a renowned plant virologist who is representing NRC Banana Trichy. I welcome you, Dr. Silviraj, and we will be benefited to hear your knowledge, your experience in the area of quality control of banana. He is associated with BCIR for a long time, and he is a pioneer in virus indexing and quality control of piscoceres banana. He is known figure to the industry. Dr. Solomon is here with us today. I welcome you, Dr. Solomon. He is the head of sweet potato breeding program, National Root Crop Research Institute, Nigeria. And we'll talk about the quality control aspect of root and tuber crop, especially for the cassava. Dr. Bhagyasri Patil, she is the renowned figure in the area of banana tissue culture and who is the head of the big commercial setup in India. We'll listen her today. I welcome you, ma'am, Dr. Bhagyasri Patil. Dr. Tejpal Tomar, he is the GM Agro Operation in Merino Industries, and he is doing excellent work in potato mini tuber tissue culture. So we'll listen from him, and also they have prepared a brief video. So I welcome you, Dr. Tomar. And as I told, this is a blend of academic and industrial expert, so that we'll have benefit of listening all of them. I welcome Dr. Wu from Taiwan Banana Research Institute, and he is kindly agreed to join this program. And he is pioneer in banana tissue culture and doing excellent work in his institute, TBRI, Taiwan Banana Research Institute. I welcome you, Dr. Wu, and definitely our audience will be greatly benefited to have your wisdom experience for this program, not only for this program, for the continued activities of BCIL and APARI. I welcome Professor Rakha Hari Sarkar. He is a known figure from the Bangladesh, from Dhaka University, and he is a known molecular biologist and plant culture expert who is doing this culture a number of crops, received so many awards. So we are benefited to have his presence, Dr. Sarkar. Definitely in panel discussion, we'll hear your wisdom, thought for this program. Welcome you, Dr. Sarkar, for this program. Then we have Dr. Henry Wagba. He works in National Agriculture Research Organization, NARO, as a molecular plant culture biologist. And he has great experience for developing, promoting pisciculture in African region. Because through this program, we are targeting to have some kind of program in Asia Pacific and African country. So all these experts, they will become the guiding force. Then we have Dr. Sanjay Chandak, who is operating a commercial tissue culture laboratory for last 30 years in India, for last 3 decades, and who is doing wonderful work in our propagation of banana, ornamental, and many crops. At the end, I also welcome all our eminent panelists, and then Dr. Purnima Sharma, managing director, who was keenly involved for formulating this program, attention to all the detail, but somehow, unfortunately, she could not make it the last moment due to some personal exigency, and she has conveyed her greeting and success for this program. So I welcome all my colleagues participants from 42 countries. It's a great response, Khetarpal sir. We received from across Africa, Asia Pacific, you name any country, 42 countries, a big number. 500 plus joined is a big number. So it's a big we hope that this will pave the way for the next level for promoting plant culture. So again, I would say that we have the blessing of our Director General and the Secretary, DAR, they are Government of India. And today he agreed earlier, but due to some high level program, he could not make it. But he has sent a greeting and blessing to the BCIL, APARI, and participants. So I request my team member, Mr. Suyas, that let us hear his kind word for this webinar before we proceed for the technical session. Yes, please.
I take this opportunity to congratulate APARI and the BCIL for initiating this international series of webinars on the theme popularization of tissue culture raised certified quality plants for widespread in Asia Pacific and African countries. Plant tissue culture, as you all know, is quite old. It provides opportunity to clonally propagate plant species mass scale, maintaining genetic fidelity and high quality standards. This enables harvesting the potential of mother plants besides eliminating plant pathogens. The technology helps enhancing agricultural production and supports industry which has gainfully engaged itself and in the process contributed meaningfully to meet the ever-increasing demand of quality planting material in the country. In India, millions of high-quality planting material of several crop species, including banana, apple, and sugarcane, have been produced with tremendous success. In this regard, BCIL has played a very, very important role. The organization has gained quite a bit of experience and expertise over the years. And in the process, it has facilitated establishment of plant tissue culture facilities, development of certification processes of tissue culture plants, and production of mother cultures, in which Dr. Shivkant Shukla of BCIL has played a key role. On the other hand, APARI as an international organization has been working in various countries in the Asia Pacific region, bringing institutions together to harness the synergy and to take advantage of the expertise available elsewhere in countries where they are most needed. Given this experience and background of the two organizations, their association in this context is quite significant. Today's webinar on tissue culture in banana, root and tuber crops is the first in the series of 4 webinars, as I understand. This webinar will highlight the potential of tissue culture technology as well as the challenges and opportunities for industry to take full advantage of this technology in order to realize its potential for sustainable agricultural production. I do hope that this webinar will be of great use for all the stakeholders, including industry, research institutions, academia, and all those who are participating from different countries. I am sure fruitful and productive deliberations would enrich every one of them who are participating. It will help formulation of short-term and long-term strategies to take full advantage of this technology in Asia Pacific and African countries. I congratulate Dr. Ravi, Dr. Rishi, and the APARI team, as well as Dr. Shivkant Shukla and his team from BCIL for this new initiative. My best wishes for success of this webinar series. Thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this series.
Thank you, Honorable DG sir, for this kind word. In fact, we felt that he is physically present while speaking with us. In fact, yesterday he was busy minute to minute because of the today's event, but he spent a lot of time understanding what APARI is doing, what BCIL is doing, and was frequently asking after this webinar what we are going to do, because this webinar should pave the way for the next level of operation. Just like coming virtually, talking something, and then not pursuing anything will not help. So that we should have some kind of short-term and long-term program after this webinar. That is our objective. In India, we have the strength of more than 200 companies. We have strength of knowledge pool, resources. And when we as a BCIL combine with APARI, that I think we can have kind of long-term sustainable program for the ultimate benefit of the farmer of the globe. So with this word, now I think we can move for the next level of the program, the technical session from the research institution. And to start with, I'll invite Dr. R. Silvirajan, Principal Scientist from NRC Banana, Trichy, and he will talk about journey of plant culture with banana perspective from research to commercialization. So Dr. Silvirajan, is over to you.
Good morning, and happy to see Dr. Ravi Ketarpal, Dr. Rishi Tyagi sir, and Dr. Shivkant Shukla, and all those panelists here. I am going to talk about the journey from research to commercialization from part of academia point of view, and the significance, best quality practices, and the way forward, which I am going to tell about. And all of you know the banana and plantains are very important staple. It's grown in 140 countries with an annual production of 155 million tons from 11 million hectares. And it's a livelihood source for 400 million people, especially the resource poor farmers living in the least developed countries as well as developing countries. And India is the largest producer of banana, and you might be knowing that this increase and the largest which we could get this state only because of tissue culture banana adoption. And just to show here, 2005 we were producing 18.59 million tons, and it is increased to 83.73. Hello, could you see the slides?
No, Dr. Silvirajan's slide did not share.
1 minute, yeah, sorry. How come?
I thought you are in preamble of the slide.
Oh, 1 minute. Okay. Oh. Now could you see?
Yes, started.
Okay. Sorry. I think I had to make this slide so no.
Yes.
Okay. Some problem in this, I think. Yeah. Okay now?
Perfectly fine.
Okay. So I am going to talk about the significance, best quality practices and the way forward. And from National Research Center for Banana, as I was telling that we produce 33.73 million tons of banana now as of now. And we have increased almost 80% in the production. And of course, we consume a lot domestically. And recently we export around 1% of what we produce is being exported from India. And I would say what we produce can feed 65 gram of banana every day. We can feed to our individual, every citizen in India. So if you want to increase to 1 banana per head in India, then we have to almost slightly double our production in the coming years. And you can see I have split this particular graph into two. One is pre-tissue culture adoption, that is still 1991, and the post-tissue culture adoption shown. The graph, you can see that the area has not drastically increased, but the production and the productivity has increased a lot. And from 20 tons per hectare, it has increased to 36 tons per hectare. This is the growth with what we are seeing. And yes, everyone knows tissue culture is very important. And India, if you look at the growth, in 1987, late 80s, A.V. Thomas company, they started tissue culture company, then followed by Indo-American Hybrid Seeds, Hindustan Lever, and Unicorn Biotech. Like that, including Jain Irrigation System in 1995, around 15 tissue culture companies started in late 80s and 90s to supply the tissue culture plants. And of course, the work of Dr. Duraisamy from Indian Institute of Horticulture, Bengaluru, and again the work from National Chemical Laboratory, Pune, on tissue culture banana has encouraged many players to enter into this tissue culture business. Many firms entered into this because of the advantage. And all you know that there are two important problems. See, when there were many litigations started in 90s with the company and farmers because of two important problems. That was variations in the tissue culture plants. It went up to 25%. Even I have visited many fields receiving the complaints from the farmers that somoclonal variation up to 25% has been seen in those 90s. And again, virus disease problem. These two were the only problem in tissue culture. And yeah, it's not moving. Yeah, and if you see the virus problem, you can see a farmer in Jalgaon because of cucumber mosaic virus attack. He is uprooting all those infected plants. And a few years back, around 40 lakh plants were uprooted both in Maharashtra as well as Madhya Pradesh because of cucumber mosaic virus. This is because of there are companies who are all not testing also. So this has led to this spread of these viral diseases. And in 2009 and 10, we estimated because of this banana bunchito virus emergence in the Maharashtra and as well as Andhra Pradesh and the part of Tamil Nadu, around $50 million loss in that year itself we estimated based on our survey and the loss and other thing. And in Andhra Pradesh, one company actually they started, they ran 5 years almost because of this banana bunchito virus came at the end of the growing season, like the 7th or 8th month. All farmers got frustrated. Almost around 4 lakh plants of that supplied by the company has been infected with bunchito. And again, this was not under in testing regime or this particular thing. They have closed. The company has to be closed because of this problem. And you know that somoclonal variations are very, very serious those days. and the companies has put more effort to reduce this the variations during the primary hardening time. They could able to cull out those plants which are all varied from the original plants. So genetic fidelity testing, in which visual way of also one can detect the variants and remove during the primary hardening. And now the molecular approach of using markers to detect the variants are being put under use under NCS TCP. And you can see here in the right what I am showing to one of the scientists. This looks like a bunchy top, but when we test it, it's not a bunchy top. It's one of the Phomoglon variants of cultivar papulu. So there are a lot of Phomoglon variants, and which is coming because of more number of subcultures and high quantity of the this hormonal imbalance, and again media composition, states and duration. There are many reasons this comes, and the company has put their own wisdom to reduce, as well as we have also given them how to remove those variants in this one. And because these two problems, the national certification system came into existence in India, and for which the government of India has brought the tissue culture raised plants under Seeds Act in March 2006. It's appeared in the Gazette's notification, and the certification agents were DBT, and in fact the BCIL is the one who totally look after this NCS TCP system. And whatever the growth which you are seeing, it's only the contribution of the entire team of BCIL. And of course, they were taking the help from the referral laboratories, accredited test laboratories, and of course, the companies, recognized tissue culture companies, and all together. And this successful NCS TCP has brought a big change in banana in India, actually. So now, just in 2007, when it was started, only 11 tissue culture companies they recognized, and it's increased to 100 in 2015. And the same number almost it is being recognized by the NCS TCP. And these all companies spread across the country where banana is grown virtually more, like in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and Gujarat, where the almost 90% of the area is covered with tissue culture banana. More number of companies are there in that places. And as I said, the problems of virus as well as Phomoglon variants are the major. National Research Center for Banana, we took an initiative to clone the viral code protein genes of 4 important virus genes. I don't want to talk about the importance of those viruses, but bunchy top, black mosaic, cucumber mosaic, and banana stick Mysore virus, for which we cloned the viral code protein and expressed in the bacterial system, and we raised the polyclonal antibodies as well as recently monoclonal antibodies for all those 4 viruses, and we developed using these resources. We have developed serology, this Doc ELISA kit, ready to use kit, and if you take this kit, you can do everything testing in the laboratory, including the ELISA plates also we used to give along with this kit. Recently what we introduced is a TOS ELISA kit, triple antibody sandwich ELISA kit, wherein we have used monoclonal antibody also along with the polyclonal antibody, and this has been commercialized to all the people. Around 10 players they used to regularly buy and use for testing. In addition, we also do. And in addition to ELISA based kit, we have also developed novel techniques like real-time PCR. SARS-CoV-2 normally they use only real-time PCR with 2 targets. Similar approach also should be applied here in coming days because to ensure that freedom from virus. And LAMP and lateral flow immunoassay and RPA-based methods we have in our store. Anytime we can deploy for the testing. And you can see here our Honorable Director General also here, and ministers releasing the on-site detection kit of developed by NRC Banana. That's a district kit. We have developed for banana black mosaic virus and cucumber mosaic virus, and which are being used for in germ plasm level at present we are using, and it can be used later. And here we have also tested, and if you see it, our accredited test laboratory under NCS TCP, we have tested for viruses and genetic fidelity for many Cavendish line. Almost 95% of the lines are Cavendish line Grand 9, and non-Cavendish desert types also Virupaksha, Sabri banana, Rastali, Puvan, Kantali, and Karpuravali Udayam, the first released variety from NRC banana, and red banana, cooking banana, and as well as plantain. So there are more than 20 banana varieties which we under NCSTCP we tested. And at NRC banana, we tested around 2 lakh samples of mother culture as well as tissue culture raising plants. And we certified 296 million tissue culture plants. And you can see this graph here in 2013, 14, 30 million, and it increased like this. And before 2007 onwards, we were testing up to 2013. NCSTCP were not issuing the certificate, but that time also we tested 1 lakh samples and put together, I would say around 600 million plants we are certified from NRC banana alone. And of course, you can see the big figures here. That is NCSTCP figure. Very quite good number of samples have been tested and certified, not only banana, but also other crops by BCAL. And coming to the impact NRC banana, and as I said, around 50 lakh plants have been disapproved because of presence of virus, and it's not true to type. 50 lakh plants which is carrying the virus has been stopped from the laboratory to the farmer's field. That itself is a great thing that NCSTCP has done with the help of ATLs. 50 lakh plants of virus infected had it been deployed in the farm, and it would have increased through the if it spread in a very big level. And cucumber mosaic virus, what we did, we did a rigorous testing, and now it is reduced very less level there in Jalgaon and Burhanpur area. And of course, the incidence has come down. Genetic fidelity results shows that the variations also has come down. And in addition to that name, we have rejuvenated the GI tagged hill banana Virupaksha, and around 6 lakhs plants has been supplied through NCSTCP, through companies, and we supplied around 10,000 mother plants to the tissue culture companies directly from our laboratory. Similarly, for Poovan also we did. And for this, the Genome Savior Award, Plant Genome Savior Award, this hill banana Virupaksha received because of our intervention, because otherwise, due to bunchy top, this virus would have become extinct. And coming to the list of technologies which we have transferred, and recently next generation sequence, next generation tissue culture system, we have transferred to Mrs. Innova Agri Biotech Park Limited. This is the using embryogenic cell suspension. And we have also Sabri banana is very important in Tripura. For them, we have transferred technology to Tripura Biotechnology Council. Again, for Dendran banana, tissue culture technology we transferred to Kottayam, Kerala. And virus indexing technology we transferred to Biotechnology Center Government of Andhra Pradesh. And like that, we transferred many of our tissue culture technologies to many tissue culture companies. And in fact, we have given mother culture also. We are supplied to many tissue culture companies, and regularly we are supplying Udayam and Grand Name and Naipuvan. We are regularly supplied to the many tissue culture company. Virus detection kits also we are selling to the many private as well as tissue culture laboratories of state agricultural universities. And we conducted as a capacity building. Ravi Ketapal sir was telling that we did the capacity building for the African nations. 10 African nations we trained on virus indexing and quality aspects at our NRC Banana with the help of the funding from Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. With what you see here. And you know that we need a lot of tissue culture plants, Now, actually, we need is 1,200 million plants annually, but our production is only 300 to 350 million plants. But the gap is 850 to 900 million plants. Still, we had to produce, of course, not for Grand Nine alone, but also indigenous important cultivars like Rastali, Nendran, Poovan, Nendran. There are many good cultivars. Location-specific cultivars are there, and for which we developed an embryogenic cell suspension technology. In which we take a immature main flower hand and we initiate the cell suspensions. Once you get the cell suspension variable callus with somatic embryos, you can see here. And from this, we develop an embryogenic cell suspension. These suspensions can be multiplied in a shaker for a long time, and it can be germinated. The embryos can be germinated in a maturation media, then germination media, then fruit development media, and root. The plant will be ready for hardening, and this is a little bit cumbersome. So what we did is we developed a bioreactor. Dr. Uma, our director, and her team, they developed a bioreactor wherein which the bubble column balloon type bioreactor is a best compared to many 3 different bioreactor we tested. In here, a 2 ml of initial settled cell volume ECS can be multiplied to 108 ml per liter within 21 days. So you see 1 ml, it can give you 4,000 plants minimum, 40,000 maximum. So 100 ml, it can give you 4 lakhs plants. So you can multiply the ECS within 21 days to produce a 4 lakh plants in 1 liter, in 108 ml. So again, yeah, as I said, not only for Grandin but also Rastali, Nendran, for different varieties we have done. This Nendran, Rastali, and red banana through suitip culture, the cost of the tissue culture plants are about 25 rupees. But once you use this particular technology, the cost can bring down to as that of Grandin. So this is the bioreactor system which is developed at NRC Banana. The somatic embryo regeneration vessel, this we have patented. This design and the process we have patented. And here each vessel can produce 500 to 600 plantlets. And you can have an 18 vessels in a rack. And this 18 vessels in a rack and in a room, 10 such racks can be kept, and you can produce 3 lakhs plants in a year in a room of 10 by 10. So this is the technology which in the offering to produce more plants, and not only Grandin but also red banana, Neighbour, and Sabri. These varieties also we have developed the ECS based thing. And here you can see the red banana which is being multiplied using the our technology of this in this bioreactor vessel. And in fact, we have tested these plants in the farmers field also. This ECS derived plants of Grandin and as well as the Rastali, not only the first crop but also the ratoon crop. And we got less than 2% variant. And this happens even suitip derived plants also, less than 2% variant. So it is outperformed even tissue culture and sucker derived plants. So this technique can be adopted. Another important technique is temporary immersion bioreactor. Temporary immersion bioreactor is here. We use just G2 or G3 stage of multiple stage culture we use, and it's a suitip culture. It is not ECS based. It's a suitip culture. In the multiplication stage, you can take to this this bioreactor vessel, and you can produce 1,500 shoots in the 6th subculture itself. And it is 2.7-fold higher than the semi-solid culture method. We need not use too much of media, and the media requirement here is only 2 ml per plantlet, and each vessel can hold around 150 to 250 plants. So any tissue culture companies also can adopt even for the suitip culture. This bioreactor can be adapted. And our Dr. Uma has proposed a thing using embryogenic cell suspension based system. We can have we can have a central bioreactor facilities in the few all the regions like northeastern region and west and south. And this ECS can be supplied to the different companies under recognized tissue culture companies, and they can multiply and they can supply through this one. And here the cost of virus indexing gentility goes down because we initially in the expands are being tested for its gentility. Of course, virus indexing. Of course, gentility should be tested during the primary ordering time. And the way forward in culture system, what I would say is that adoption of embryogenic cell suspension derived next generation system and the centralized banana mother stock culture for all the varieties as proposed by BCIL recently. And it's a very good initiative. If they bring this one, it would be very nice to know that the mother culture of banana can be supplied to all the 200 tissue culture companies in India. And the adoption of highly sensitive real-time PCR technology for virus indexing, though it is costlier, but when we do for mother stock culture, the cost can be reduced with some manipulations, and it will be very sensitive, and we can pick out it's 100 times sensitive than the ELISA. So then again, bringing, I don't know, it's macro propagated conventional sectors are not coming under certification, but like in India, this National Horticulture Board, they have got a nursery act system wherein they give a lot of the protocol to certify for the suckers also. That has to be given importance also. Then crop-based institutes should act as a referral laboratories, and more number of ATLs in the certification system should be inducted so that this can go in a big way. And I'm happy to say that we have published with APARI earlier macro propagation of production quality banana planting material. This is first version, and there is a recent version by Shukla and Dr. Baranwal, I think so. But this has been cited by more than 200 or more. And we published this guide on handling and hardening of tissue culture bananas, wherein which we have given how to see the phenotypic difference in the variability and chromosomal variation. And many tissue culture companies, they used to refer these books for their ensuring variant-free tissue culture plants. And I thank you for giving this opportunity. I thank, and this is the team, Dr. Uma and her team for who developed this bioreactor technology. And I thank ICAR and DBT and BCIL because they were with us as an ATL, and DBT BIRAC and also APARI for joining us. Thank you very much. I think with this.
Thank you, Dr. Silvi Rajan, for this nice presentation. Very good to know that since you are the pioneer researcher, but you had deep insight about the commercial disclosure aspect. And I keep on getting lots of appreciation for you from the companies. That's a good thing. And you have covered many aspects of the commercialization of banana and the innovative technology. That's very important to have new technologies to support the pisciculture sector and the farming system, because it's a very labor intensive and costly affair doing plant culture. When such innovation will come, definitely it's going to help. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Now after Dr. Silvi Rajan, I invite Dr. Solomon Alufemi from the Sweet Potato Breeding Program, National Research Crop Research Institute, Nigeria. And he has good experience in research as well as scaling up of tisculture regarding potato, sweet potato, cassava. So it would be nice to hear from you from the African perspective how this technology is helping farmers. So Dr. Solomon, over to you.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I hope
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I firstly want to apologize because I will be presenting from a different equipment, which makes my background not to be like yours. Please pardon me. And thank you very much. I want to start by saying that Nigeria's application of tissue culture. Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we could hear.
Okay, Nigeria's application of tissue culture is not as advanced as that of India, and so we still have a lot of catching up to do. Be that as it may, I wish to quickly present the few slides I have here. Can you see my slides, please?
No, it has not come so far.
Oh, okay. Just a little. It should come now. Okay. Can you see it?
No, should we share this from our end? Or you just get the share option in the bottom of your screen. Just click that and select the file.
Exactly what I'm doing here. No. Okay. Just a moment. Let me put it through. Now you wanna sh- Is it coming through now? Is it coming through? Can you see? Okay, I can still see. Okay, maybe would you like to share the one I have with you? I think it hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we'll share it from our end.
No.
Just a moment. Yes, it is going the right direction. I think now you're able to share that. You'll have better control if you'll share from your end. Started.
It started right. Okay, thank
Just
you.
make it slideshow mode. Just leave it. Just started now.
Oh, great. So can you see it now?
Yes, it is there.
Okay. So just little outline of what I'll be talking about. The plant techniques that have been employed at the National Root Crops Research Institute in Nigeria, and the specific examples of tissue culture application in root and tuber crops, and present challenges that are limiting the full potential and the way forward. Just to start with, at the National Root Crops Research Institute, Umudike, Nigeria, is actually located in the rainforest belt of the Southeast, and it's a national research institute. And we are into genetic improvement, production, processing, storage, utilization, socioeconomics of root and tuber crops. And then the crops we actually work on include cassava, yam, cocoyam, sweet potato, Irish potato, ginger, risda, and so many other crops. And then in our little way, because we still have a long way to go, not like India, and that's why we need to actually have a way of tapping from the wealth of experience of India when it comes to tissue culture approach. Where we've concentrated a lot on has to do with genetic conservation of root and tuber crops, disease pathogen elimination, and production of disease-free planting materials and seed germplasm exchange. And the techniques we've applied are largely in vitro culture for genetic conservation, meristem tissue culture, and then the use of ELISA kit, for pathogen elimination, and then micro production of disease-free planting materials. After cleaning your materials, then we do micropropagation. We use semi-autotrophic hydroponics. We also use aeroponics, not hydroponics, aeroponics. And then, yeah. And basically the crops we have been able to start some of these techniques on include cassava, yam, cocoyam, sweet potato, Irish potato, ginger, and turmeric. We're still working on risga and our local potato that we call Hausa potato and sugar beet. And the picture you see on your right there is that's our plant tissue culture lab growth room. And the crops that we have in conservation, there are just about 6 of them. And so we've used nodal cotton and meristem tip for all of them. And this is these are some of the figures that we have. And for cassava, the various plant tissue culture activities that we've involved in cassava specifically include the in vitro conservation, micropropagation, virus cleaning using meristem culture, which is followed up with PCR for cassava mosaic virus disease, and also multiplication of clean materials using SAH, that's amyotrophic hydroponics. And in yam, it's just the same. In vitro conservation, micropropagation, elimination of viruses, and aeroponics. And for sweet potato, we just testing our SAH method on that. But when you look at ginger, turmeric, potato, we still have some ways to go, but especially potato, we have to take potato to an environment which is in the middle belt of Nigeria, where the elevation is very high, and we have temperate climate, and that is where potato is actually produced. So presently, the federal government is setting up that area, and they have tissue culture facilities that are waiting to be optimized. Now, quickly, I only have 10 minutes. So commercial root and tuber seed system. We all know that farmers, for farmers to have increased yield, they need high quality seeds. And so few companies, seed companies exist in Nigeria. And these companies largely focus on cereals and legumes, not root and tuber. Why? Because root and tuber crops you can easily take from the old stock, like cassava. You just have to harvest cassava, keep your stems, and then come back. That's what farmers do, and come back and use the old stem. Sweet potato, the same. When you harvest sweet potato, the following year after the rain comes, few ones will sprout from the ground, and farmers will go back there and pick them, and that is why we consistently have low yield. So that is the old seed system, and that is what has stayed so long until the last 5 years, when we begin to have new approach and new drive, in the seed system, and new seed system for cassava, seed system for sweet potato, seed system for yam have been developed, and we'll be talking about those ones just shortly. So exactly. Now, the cassava seed system flow just looks like this. From your in vitro material, which has been cleaned up, then you do a little micropropagation, then you take the the plantlets to the SAH, and the SAH can multiply millions of cuttings for you within a very short time, which you can take to your field. And these are high quality planting materials, and down you can actually see the SAH facility, and right there you see thousands upon thousands of cuttings of cassava that are waiting for farmers to take to the field. Also for yam, after you've cleaned your material, which is already in vitro, you take them to the aeroponic facility. That is where I was standing, and it's just mist of it's not hydro, it's not water, it's just mist of water that has nutrient that is targeted at the root. You can see that on the right, targeted at the root system of the plant, and that is how it feeds. And after that, then you have both the stem and also your micro tubers. And your micro tubers or mini tubers, as they are, is always a mixture of both. You have some so small micro, then you have some mini, and then you have some big enough to just go directly to the farm. And these are what you give to farmers to plant, and farmers buy. And that is that's the good thing. They have the awareness now that when they use these materials, they can actually have higher yield that will compensate for whatever they have spent buying seed. And also, we've tested in our station the possibility of using the stem directly, and it works. At the end of the day, you can actually have some that will give you, the yam itself that you can eat as big as that, or you can have seed yam. Seed yam is what you take to the farm to plant. And for sweet potato, we've been working with the International Potato Center, and from our tissue culture materials, clean materials, we do micro propagation, and we harden those materials, and then we take them to the Strinners facility, where we multiply en masse and begin to sell to farmers. And we can either deliver to farmers' field directly, and when they purchase, and these farmers are not actually these are trained seed multipliers. We call them decentralized vine multipliers. That's their job, and they're making the good business. So they sell to other farmers that need. So we actually don't want to sell to farmers directly. We sell to seed multipliers. So we produce early generation seed, and we sell to farmers that will further multiply and sell high quality planting materials. Okay, and all these seed systems in a nutshell. What are some challenges that we've been having? Putting them to scale. Lack of access to capital is always a problem. And then farmers, like I said, down 5, 6, 7 years ago, farmers will not buy. They will not buy seed. But today, especially with the advent of private farms, big private farms that understand that high quality seed is very important in root and tuber crops, because root and tuber crops accumulate pathogens so easily. Now we're beginning to see change, and they are drivers of the seed system. So that is rapidly changing, and government policies at times, that gives seed to farmers free of charge in some of their intervention programs. This distorts the commercial seed system, because our government will go to its own arm and ask them to multiply seed, and then they give free, and that discourages farmers, some local farmers, smallholder farmers, from buying seeds, hoping that government will come. And then farmers' main practice of recycling of root and tuber crop seeds discourages investment in seed system of root and tuber crops. Like I said, it's not like maize. For maize, you have hybrid maize, and you just have to go back. You plant it once, then it's going, the next year, if you keep seed from that, is going to degenerate. So you have to go back to the company to buy. And so, but for root and tuber crops, if you start with a very good seed, clean material, you can actually do like 2 cycles before you have to go back to buy seeds. And so those are some of the challenges. Now, some of the way forward issues are put here for funding is to have advocacy with the government, which we haven't. Government is responding, but the response of government is actually always, very slow. And we advocating in Nigeria for, a special fund mechanism that can target the private seed companies in root and tuber crops. And actually, the Central Bank of Nigeria has started doing something about that. Now we have some private companies, individuals that are coming up, especially in cassava, in yam, and also, in fact, there is an individual that is trying to install aeroponics so that he can do millions of seed yams yearly and supply to farmers. And also, there is need for the awareness to be created. For farmers to know that they need, especially the local farmers, the smallholder farmer. Now, that is one of the problems they've been having. But when you talk to them, they say, hey, this is the way we've been doing it for years. And so they just need to be demonstrated to, on the need to actually use clean, high quality seeds. And incentives, government also need to target incentives like tax incentives. Hello, can you hear me?
I just wanted to
Yeah, Dr. Solomon, we can hear you.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. So government can target upcoming companies to focus. I mean, to give them tax holidays and encourage them actually to do this more. And so, what are the prospects for commercialization of root and tuber crop seeds? You can see the picture on the topmost picture there. That is cassava, and that is what goes for 1 hectare. And these are clean, high quality seeds that have been produced. And this is just a replica of what is obtainable in Nigeria now. And as a pack of quality cassava stem is about 50 cuttings in one of each of those packs you are seeing. You have 50 cuttings there, and that sells for about $2. And so for product, I mean, a sweet potato, what goes for 1 hectare is about $330 high quality vines. But you can see for seed yam, it's very costly to plant yam in Nigeria. And then you have about $1,000 to $2,000 for 1 hectare of yam, buying seed yam. But if you use high quality seed yam, then you get this money back. That is guaranteed. So in a nutshell, that's the crux of all I have to say from here. Also suffice to say that we also use, especially for cassava, in our virus indexing, we use PCR. We have a very functional bioscience center that handles all of that. And for sweet potato, we use the ELISA kit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Solomon, for this wonderful presentation. In fact, Asia Pacific and Indian context and African context, there is a very great scope for collaboration. BCIL has done this capacity building program for last 4 or 5 years under the support of Ministry of External Affairs. And again, hopefully we'll continue this program for the next phase. And we have trained
exactly. There's scope for a lot of assist also to especially in kids. Exactly.
We have trained 200 candidates from 25 African countries. They visited India. They have seen the commercialization of this culture. They have witnessed all the success from lab to field, and they are quite enthusiastic to take it forward. Already, I am maintaining a group and a relationship with them. Hopefully, something big will come as a collaboration in context of Indian companies and African, because there is great potential.
That's very good to hear. Also, when they come back to Nigeria, very much.
We have similar kind of scenario, land, and we need to increase productivity, and this tissue culture will play definitely a great role for enhancing the production and productivity towards the food and nutritional security. So thank you once again. So after this presentation, what we have planned that we'll make this program very much interactive, and we'll have poll from the participants 3 times. After this academic presentation, then after industry presentation, and after the panel discussion, we have a brief poll. We'll flash 3 questions. For the audience, there will be option for selecting only one, so that we'll get insight from the audience, because I could see many of the audience, they're from the renowned institutions, company, they are a great stakeholder. We are speaking, but the other part, those who are listening us, they're also a great part of the entire development, and they will become kind of resource. So with this, we'll get that insight, and we'll start the first poll right now. And 3 questions will come on the screen of the participants. They will just select and they submit it. They will get 10 to 15 seconds for submitting their response. I request Sarath to place that poll.
Tomorrow we can.
So there will be 3 questions.
And then I can call him or you can call him.
It will just come on your screen. And after this poll, again we'll give the result. So this is the first poll which is coming. Can you see this on the screen?
We don't need crowd, to We just need a useful
So
function.
that it has started now.
We can have an output.
First question is that do you agree that quality stock culture is the key for success of plant culture process and producing quality culture plants? Your three options: strongly agree, agree, or disagree. Second question: do you feel that virus indexing of culture is the necessary step and it should be made as an integral part of the standard culture operation? And the third one, which is very important, has the potential of plant culture technology for banana and sugar crop been realized in your country? So we'll just wait 10 to 15 seconds. Then we'll submit this and all the audience, they will get result instantly that what is the majority of audience they think about the quality stock culture, virus indexing, and the potential of plant culture. So I think just 10 seconds will wait. I request all the audience, please participate because your feedback is very, very important for the organizers. And that will help us in deciding the recommendations and making the way forward. Yes, we'll just close it now. Just 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3. Final. Please submit. So audience, they can see that. Yeah, please share the result. Oh, 71% they feel that quality stock culture is the key for success of this culture operation. First result. Disagree, 0% disagreement. No disagreement. And virus indexing, Dr. Silviraj, 98%. They're saying that virus indexing is a critical element. Dr. Solomon, can you see that? 98%. And potential of this culture realized in our country? 55%. They're saying yes. Oh, good. And 28% still they're saying this is no. And 17% they're not sure. So this 28 plus 17%, this is the key area where we need to work upon. So how to realize the full potential of the plant culture technology by adopting quality management practices. And this gives the scope of this webinar. Thank you so much. We can stop now sharing this. Thank you, Mr. Sarad. So now we'll move for the next level of this program, and that is from the presentation of the leading expert in the area of plant culture, those who are running the commercial setup successfully, and they will share their success story. Because the person who is actually doing from the starting to the commercialization and has witnessed all kind of hurdle and made this culture operation successful, that will become a kind of good learning point for the audience as well as for us also. So first I request Dr. Bhagyasri Patel, who is very known figure in the banana culture in India, lady entrepreneur, and 70% of the staff in this facility are the lady operator working in the facility. And this facility is providing the quality plant recognized under the Department of Biotechnology program for last 10 to 12 years. So I invite Dr. Patel to share her thought and make a brief presentation. And after this presentation, just we'll show the brief video so that how this technology is working, that we'll witness that. So over to you, Dr. Patel.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Shivkant Shukla. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Dr. Purnima Sharma, Dr. Ravi Khetrapal, Dr. Mohapatra, Principal Scientist, Dr. Silvarajan, Dr. Afupe Alufemi, Dr. Tejpal Singh, and today's moderator and the motivator behind this webinar, Dr. Shivkant Shukla, the panelists and all the participants present over here. Today, I'm really glad to attend this webinar on banana. I welcome all of you to have a look at the Rise and Shine Biotech Private Limited company. Yes, this is a Rise and Shine Biotech company, certified ISO 901-2015. I would like to share my success story of Rise and Shine. It was way back in 1999. The idea of tissue culture clicked my mind, and this is the area before the lab was built in Pune, Theur. And I think that during that time, if we really think big and think fast and think ahead of the future, we can achieve anything in our life. In my childhood, I was always interested in doing farming, and farming was my passion. And with that passion, the tissue culture laboratory developed. It was in 1999, we had just about 100 square feet of lab and we started the tissue culture laboratory. After that,
Dr. Patil, sorry to intervene. Please make this slide so mode. It is not moving. Slides
Okay.
are not moving.
Okay. So I'm just speaking on the slides which have been done. So I just briefly tell. So after that, we had a laboratory in a 4,000 square feet in 2003. And from there, our journey started. It was very tough during 2003 when we had a laboratory to get the ladies to work from the villages, and in the beginning to develop quality plants. When I purchased land to put up plants over the banana plants, I saw that many of the plants were virus affected. And so I felt that the farmers should have good quality plants, and thus the idea of tissue culture laboratory clicked and we built this tissue culture laboratory. At present, we have a massive laboratory area of 1,45,000 square feet with the annual production of more than 40 million plants. This is a tissue culture banana lab, laminar flows, where the 100 class air quality is maintained. And I would
Lights are
Dr.
not.
Patil, we are still in the first slide. It's a
Slide.
welcome to Rise and Shine slide.
oh,
Please make it slideshow mode. And I think you are talking in the 5, 6 slide. It is still first slide. God
oh,
bless you.
so sorry, how is that?
Please ask someone to help you.
Because in front of me it is moving. I just thought,
No, it just started moving now.
okay,
It is second slide has come.
okay, so sorry.
Second, third, fourth. I think fourth slide already you talk about.
Okay, yes. So this is the laboratory infrastructure at present.
It is Rise and Shine Biotech ISO certified slide is there.
Acha, okay.
It should be full slide mode.
Make it full slide. Slide so then it will move properly.
Slide so mode it should be.
Slide so mode is not there.
Madam, you
I
can.
think she has to put it on a presentation mode.
Madam, you can.
Presentation mode.
Yeah,
Stop share and again you wait.
Yeah, please raise here.
Can you see it now? So sorry, I'm so sorry.
Only one slide is seen. It is not moving. Make it in PowerPoint slideshow mode.
I think if she goes to she should go down on the icon on the right, the right side, the third one, if she clicks on that, then she will be on presentation
Slide
mode.
two, yes.
Click on the slideshow.
From beginning, yes.
Yes, okay. Can you see it now? Is it moving?
Yes. No. No, it's.
No, it's not moving. Is it moving, sir?
We are in the infrastructural facility slide, but it is not in slideshow mode. Anyway, you can move, you can continue, but keep on moving slides.
Keep on moving.
We are in the fifth slide.
Okay, this is the fifth slide. Can you see it?
No,
Is it
madam.
fifth? Pathway ka?
It's moving now, but,
Yeah, okay, please. So
oh.
can you see the fifth pass number? Number fifth slide.
It's a 6th slide.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So now it's moving. So this is the laminar flow PI rooms where the ladies are working and doing the tissue culture initiation. And I would like to proudly say that these are all village ladies who are working over here. Not highly qualified, but they work as if they are highly qualified and working very hard. This is the fully automated autoclave. We have the plant growth room, and we have nearly, we have 40 plant growth rooms in our laboratory, and one growth room has a capacity of 50,000 bottles. This is the dispatch which our ladies are doing from the lab. We select the suckers from mother plot selection. We do the tagging of the bunch and select excellent suckers from the field, and R&D department works on it. We have our own R&D lab where the suckers virus testing is done, indexing is done, and even we give up plants to VCI for all the to test all the virus testings. Can you see the slides, sir?
Yes, please continue. Please continue.
Yes. Okay. These are the TC banana lab stages of initiation, malting, shooting, and rooting. This is the panoramic view of all the greenhouses at Theur over here in Pune. We have got about 40 acres of polyhouses where the pre-hardening and post-hardening is done. This is the primary hardening plant where the capacity is about nearly 21 million plants. And the post-hardening is about 25 million plants, the secondary hardening plants. Excellent plants. And here I would like to say that we do the soilless hardening. We preserve the mother nature, and instead of soil, we use the other cocoa pit and pit moss and the mixture of all that for post-hardening. This is the healthy and uniform banana plot in India. This is the banana bunch at harvesting stage of Rise and Shine plot. We have a demo plot over here in Pune. The banana plant sale is in all over India and also abroad. We sell in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. There's huge demand in all the states. These are the happy farmers of Gujarat. We have really visited the farmers to see the progress, and if there are any suggestions, we always take it positively and go ahead. In Maharashtra, the happy farmers in Karnataka, the Ilaiki plant. For Ilaiki plant, many of the young farmers, young educated students are doing farming at present in India, and I think India is developing in a very high way now. From local to global, we are just developing in India. This is the happy farmer of Raipur. Of Andhra Pradesh area. In Madhya Pradesh. We also export plants to these countries: Ethiopia, Kenya, Ghana, Morocco, Jordan, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Cambodia, Comoros, Oman, Nigeria. Until now, we have exported more than 10 million plants, and there are very good results over there. This is the packaging which we do for banana plants for export. This is the result of Ethiopia and Morocco. The farmers are really happy over there. Next. We are DBT certificate and ISO 9001-2015 company. I would like to tell all of you all that we have been tied up with an NGO called Global Vikas Trust under the guidance of Mr. Mayank Gandhi. He has visited the Rise and Shine, and we have developed the drought places in Maharashtra at present. This is the GVT team. We are training them. We are giving program to train them. These are all the farmers whom we train, and they visit regularly over here at Rise and Shine, and a good training is given to them. Here, banana plants we supply to the drought area with a joint venture at GVT. And I would gladly like to inform you that this is a drought area and the suicide rate has been decreased in India in those areas. We are giving plants, supplying plants to Bid, Latur, Parabni, Osmanabad, and created good infrastructure, made them give facilities of water and guided them technically also. And they are really very happy to produce banana plants and have a good livelihood. We have the CSR project in a company. More than 85% ladies are working in a company. We regularly train them for yoga, do medical checkup, and even during COVID, we have helped them by giving medicines and food grains. And this is the women power. And I feel women can really motivate each other and work hard. This company has been developed only because of the support of all these ladies working together like a family and staying, doing dedicated work at Tissue Culture Laboratory. I'm really glad that the company is really producing about more than 40 million plants at present. We have a tie-up with nearly about 27 to 30 countries where we export our floriculture plants also and banana plants also. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to present the company. Thank you very much, Dr. Shivkant Shunkla and all the participants for listening patiently to me.
Thank you, Dr. Patil, for sharing this success story. I remember I met you first time in 2007 during the first assessment for the DBT program. And from that day, I noted that you are very conscious for the quality. And that is, I think, reason behind this success, that quality. And second, that encouraging your workers through women empowerment. So that is, I think, going in a big way. So thanks for this nice presentation. I hope audience have enjoyed this entire journey and nicely prepared slides. So I request my team member to just show the video how this banana tissue culture operation are moving ahead.
Thank you so much, everyone.
So I think this has given glimpse of the entire process, and many of the student scholars they have joined. So basically they benefited through this process what they have seen through this brief video. So with this I will move for the next presenter, Dr. Tejpal Singh Tomar is a general manager in agro operation from Merino Industries Limited, Hapur. This is a Department of Biotechnology recognized facility. And doing pisciculture of potato mini tuber. Dr. Tomar is doctorate in agronomy and has vast experience in promoting potato mini tuber in different capacities over past 20 to 30 years. So Dr. Tomar, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and special thanks to Dr. Shukla, who encouraged me to share my experience with the panelists and the participants who are joined across the globe, and to share my experience as an agronomist. Actually, I am working with the team of biotechnology in different companies since last 20 years. So I would like to share my experience as an agronomist and the role of this tissue culture driven mini tubers in getting desired quality of tubers, and in present context of India, when we are moving to a brand linked agronomy, we have so many challenges. So the quality seed for different category of potato like French fries, dehydrated products, chips. So I'll share my experience working with Merinos in last 8 years, and why I was able to mobilize the management. Actually, Merino, just let's share that. Merino is basically a high pressure laminate company of 252 million USD. Just a minute. And this is there's a click. So Merino is basically a high pressure laminate 252 million medium sized company working in Hapur. This is 50 kilometers from Delhi in east. So they are into agriculture since 1966. So this is a success story to my assessment, because in 66 they started from a cold store in Hapur, and now they are leading players in potato seed business. Can you see this presentation?
Yeah, Dr. Tomar, please make it slide some more.
So that's why I have basically given title to my presentation, the scope of tissue culture in quality seed tuber production in India. We have some challenges and way forward. As an agronomist, to my assessment, I will also share with you. So this is a brief statistics of Merino Industries. So 252 million USD, as I told earlier. Out of that, we are exporting, say, 30% to different parts of the country, and then 179 million USD sale of high pressure laminate we are doing in India. Agri vertical is a very small vertical of 7.8 million USD. Total vertical size is 12.6 million USD. Out of that, 7.8 million USD is coming from this Vegit, which is our basically potato flax brand. And of total production, 56% we are exporting to different parts of the country. That is approximately 4.4 million USD. Rest 3.4 million USD we are selling in domestic market. As I was sharing earlier, this is basically family-owned business. This family migrated long back from Bangladesh to India, and they started from a small cold store in 1967. And they have been doing so many exercises, experiments with different departments, and then they were growing some seed after getting breeder seed from CPI. I joined this company in 2014 after my ITC assignment. For 8 years, I was with ITC, and I was very much inspired by the team of biotechnology over there. And I suggested them, why don't you start a tissue culture program in collaboration with the Department of Biotechnology. At that time, BCIL was certifying this tissue culture lab. And it is very difficult to convince the management because they were not into tissue culture business before that. And finally, MD was convinced with my proposal, and then they put up a state-of-the-art facility in Hapur. Thanks to Dr. Shukla, who supported me always, a lot of guidance and motivation. There were new assignment for me. And presently, we are producing approximately 6,000 ton quality seed out of this tissue culture lab, and doing a contact farming program on 1,500 acres with 500 growers. We are also running a cold stores of 550,000 metric ton capacity, and we are also processing 50,000 metric ton potato per year and manufacturing potato flex. So the conversion of potato flex to potato flex is 5 kg potato is required to produce 1 kg of flex. And that is the challenge basically when we talk quality variety. Our competition starts when we export with different countries where dry matter is high, their sugar level are low, and then we need different type of varieties. And then if you see the statistics of India, on record, we are second largest producer, but we process hardly 7%. And the major challenge is our major potato is grown in subtropical plains. So 90% crops comes in February, March, and we store it for 8 months. And after say June or July, the potato starts deteriorating because by plan, we never produce processing varieties in India. 1997 CPRI focused on this agenda, and then they released some varieties which are doing very well now. But at the same time, keeping business requirement into consideration, we are tying up with different foreign agencies. Like I am working with the French company to import processing variety in India, and I see a very good role of tissue culture when we bring a new variety in our country. It is a rapid multiplication. Quickly we develop quality mini tubers and multiply to generation 4. So that is the role of tissue culture I am able to see as an agronomist, particularly that basically launching a new variety and developing a basic seed stock over conventional methods we were doing before tissue culture in this country. Because if conventional seed, if you see, our country of total seed requirement is approximately 5.4 million ton. And out of that, if you see the pie, 85% is unorganized private growers. And there I see a very good scope of tissue culture if we rope in this technique and replace this 85%. So there is a huge potential of the seed business in this country. And that was the reason I was able to convince management. And if you see the gap, presently we are supplying only 0.8 million ton seed, whereas the requirement is 5.4 million, 54 lakhs. And if I work out this requirement on 100% replacement, assuming that total seed will be replaced every year, there is a clear-cut gap of 45 lakh ton seed in this country. If I work out 30% SSR, which is widely acceptable in the industry, we need 9,70,000 metric ton seed. So there's a huge scope of tissue culture technique where we need to multiply quality seed very fast and launch varieties according to the requirement of different categories we are running in our countries. So far, our tissue culture facility is concerned, it's a very good facility, hybrid model, a small facility in Hapur, and attached with the aeroponics, and then net houses, and then open field we are also doing, because this location gives me this opportunity to multiply hardened tissue culture plants in open field, because we have 75-80 days virus-free, aphid-free window at Hapur. So that is the advantage. I am trying to develop a hybrid model according to the profile of varieties and the requirement of seed size of my team. And that's why I will show you this next slide. By total of 232 tissue culture plants, approximately 12,000 TCP tissue culture plants goes to aeroponics, 8,000 goes to net houses, and remaining 212,000 tissue culture plants goes directly to the field without any net. And I can share this on record because in 75, it's a effect-free window I had mentioned earlier. Our virus content in generation 1 or generation 2 is hardly less than 0.5%. So that is the advantage of tissue culture. That is how we protect it. And then this controlled multiplication for 3 generations at least, it gives a clear-cut business advantage versus conventional method. This is the small photo pics I have taken from my facility. My basically assessment of this technique is this is very good technique for rapid multiplication and disease-free basic seed. And particularly, as I told earlier, when we are linked to the market, we are not in general multiplication as a corporate. I need to produce a variety and their seed size, the virus content according to my customers. So my competition is basically CPRI, who produce every year 2,500 metric ton breeder seed. So we have a system in this country. If you produce any seed, it undergoes a virus testing and then certification process. So if I want to produce virus-free basic seed, then yes, tissue culture is the answer. It is also very effective technique when we want to revive some varieties to create germplasm of biodiverse trait, like a lot of challenges we are now facing, nutrient economy, disease resistance, heat tolerance, and all breeder has to think on that, whether they can develop a quick germplasm of different traits and then give us varieties for different geographies, for different categories. If you compare this technique with the conventional system, their system was different, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. This paper was published in 2013, and I've taken reference as well. So if you see the stage 3 virus incidence, these are the number of plants which were basically rogued out because of certain virus infections. Generation 1 tissue culture driven have almost 1/3 load versus this conventional method. And that gives me advantage when I sell my generation 4 to the market and then get premium over that. Not only that, it also gives opportunity to farmer to multiply for more number of generation by a farmer given seed 1 kg, he can multiply up to 9 kg, 2 years. So this is the advantage of tissue culture system when first 3 generations are multiplication are absolutely protected and we get quality generation 1 disease-free seed. Keeping forecast of CPRI and it's a publication Vision 250 documents, we are going to double our seed requirement in 2045. It's very clearly it's growing 6 to 7% every year. And we will be basically requiring seed of different categories now. It is not a general multiplication to feed our country population, but it is also coming a lot of demand from industry side. And then the flex, the kind of government has projected, we will be requiring different type of varieties for manufacturing chips, for manufacturing French fries, for manufacturing flax, dehydrated products. And that's why I'm saying this tissue culture technique is really going to play a very vital role in developing category-specific varieties and rapid multiplication of quality seed. So far, challenges and way forward are concerned. Availability of quality seed, as I've told, there is a huge gap, availability and this basically requirement. And more than that, we need a quality seed at reasonable price because Indian customers are very particular on that. Number 2, the category specific varieties consist to supply consistent raw material to processing industry. As I shared earlier, my PUI, which is called in industry potato use index, is 5.5 versus Europe 4.5. So if I don't manage that, I can't compete with European countries who are exporting to the same customer in different parts of the globe. Locally adaptable varieties to counter biotic and abiotic stress. We have different set of soils, different series of soils. So we need definitely the varieties which can be planted in different type of soils and who can counter different type of biotic stress like heat tolerance, slightly saline areas. We don't have neutral soil in our country because our soil pH is 7.5 to 8.5. So these are not ideal for potato. We have tropicalized potato in India, though it is not a Indian crop. It's basically long back it was imported or maybe brought from Europe. But yes, successfully Indian institutes have tropicalized it. So the challenge is going forward to develop biotic, abiotic, heat tolerant varieties. Now we have to develop a quality seed multiplication program to considering the exposure of early generation seed in open field. So we have to do real-time rapid, the speaker told me, real-time PCR test just to understand the degeneration rate. And that is why it is high time to work together. And this is the way forward, I personally believe, as an industry agronomist, to match the global quality benchmark. This is a big challenge for us. We are dependent now on different countries, particularly the European countries, for varieties, and we don't have answer for industry right now. And our variety contribution is hardly 40-45%. So this is the time when we develop indigenous varieties using this tissue culture technology. And there are certain issues, genetic fidelity, earlier speaker shared, because sometimes if we are not, we don't standardize our process, we see some genetic drift. There are some issues in PSI, potato shape index, that challenges we have to work together. So we have to marry our development agenda. It can't be work in isolation, that agronomist, whatever problem he is facing in the field, different tissue culture departments and ICR support, ECL, yeah, no doubt, the nodal agency should marry their development agenda to give the answer to industry. The biggest problem in our country is the single window IMS system, because the information management system is difficult for real-time data access. If I ask the potato requirement and then I don't get answer, then I will take all the business call based on certain speculations. So we have to develop a system. Sometime I discuss with different business partners like potato store owners. They tell me so many number of stories, but does it not the fact the time has come, we work. I will share one example. I was called by New Zealand government for a presentation, and then when I requested them to give the data of their country, within 10 minutes data was available at my table. But if you see different potato companies or institutes working on potato in India, their data is significantly varied. Say one say the 43 million, others say 53 million, like that. And their data is not even updated. They will give you say 3 or 4 year data, old data. So they will never help industry to take a business call. Number two, they said there is a seamless transaction is required, because I have seen in tissue culture certification system, very good support. First, I got all the guidance from BCIL, and now I am working with NIPGR, which is again a DPT institute. The people are very aggressive, actually, very proactive. So this is the way we should take it forward. But I personally believe, as an agronomist, I'm not a biotechnologist. There is a requirement of this technology in India, and we have now enough knowledge to commercialize it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tomar, for this nice presentation. You have briefly covered various aspects of potato culture. Now, potato is an integral part of our life, and this quality virus-free planting material is definitely adding value to the processing industry. And whatever the quality they require, that is being provided by the potato mini tuber industry. So similar to the banana, we have a very brief video for the potato culture process, and that will give some glimpse of the entire technology, how it starts and how it is going for the mini tuber production. So I request my team to just show that brief video to the audience.
You need to unmute.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. So thank you so much. With this brief video, this banana and the potato sculpture, now we have seen how this in vitro technology is going to ex vitro and how it is helping farmers in a big way. So before we proceed for the third session, that is the interactive panel discussion, we'll have a brief poll, just like we had. We'll just take 15-20 seconds, and we have second round of poll from the audience so that we'll get the insight. So I request my team to please share that poll. Just three questions, and again we will be having just three answers. 3 questions. You will have to select one answer out of that. So request my team just to project. Now this will appear on the screen. So first is that, do you agree that BCIL with vast experience in establishing quality management system in India and APARI as a viable organization in Asia Pacific are rightly positioned to be the knowledge partner for handholding and facilitating quality management program in your country? This is the first one. You get 4 options: strongly agree, agree, disagree, and not sure. The second question, what are the main constraints to realize the full potential of disclosure technology in your country? That is the quality management system, skilled or trained manpower, infra and financial support. The second one. Now the third question, traceability, regarding the traceability of the operation from mother plant to TC-RES plant is important for quality management. Do you agree that user-friendly software application or mobile app, that is IoT platform, may play important effective role in quality assurance and management? So all the 3 questions on your screen. Please be quick. Select one option out of given options for all the 3 questions and submit quickly so that we'll get idea about your perception, about your experience. So just we'll give 10 seconds. Submit your response. Then we'll show the result to the audience. Now you're closing it. Last 3 seconds. Yeah, we close now. So I request my team to share the result to the audience so that they will come to know. Oh, great support for BCIL and APARI. 40% strongly agree, 56 agree, no disagreement. Just 4% are not sure. We'd like to listen separately those who are not sure. So good. Now the second response. Constraint. Quality management, little distributed answer. 16% they're saying quality management, but 15% is skilled manpower, 27 infra related issues, and the financial support. Awareness, and majority of people are saying all of the above. There are many constraints. So this gives the platform to develop a program which will help participants. Now traceability, again, people they're saying 47 plus 47. That strongly agree that traceability is very important, and the software IoT may play a very important role to address this concern. So thank you for your feedback. Definitely this will help us in incorporating your input for the next course selection. So just I request my team to stop this poll result. So before I move for the panel discussion, we are running behind the schedule. I would seek permission of the chairman of this webinar, Dr. Ravi Khetrapal, Executive Secretary APARI, and Dr. Rishi Tyagi, to extend some time so that we can have panel discussion.
Yeah, please go ahead, Dr. Shukla.
Thank you so much, sir. So it was so far it is a very good journey. All the audience who has joined sincerely, they are attending and providing their all the insights during the program. And we had presentation from academia in industry, and we had a wonderful session so far. So this will be very, very interesting to interact with our different stakeholders, industry, as well as research institutions. We have with us Dr. Henry Wagba from Naro, Uganda, Dr. Sanjay Chandak, as I introduced you in the beginning, a leading entrepreneur in India, is a MD of Steel Biotech Limited and operating this facility for last 3 decades. Professor Rakha Harish Sarkar, who is from Dhaka University, pioneer in British culture and biotechnology research, and Dr. T.H. Wu from Taiwan Banana Research Institute. So we have this esteemed panelists, and we would like to hear briefly about their perception about the potential of this technology. So first, I would start from Professor Sarkar, that I would ask him, Professor, how do you perceive growth potential of banana and the tuber crop, particularly in Bangladesh perspective?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Shukla. And also good afternoon to all the presenters and panelists and participants. I think I learned quite a lot through these presentations, and particularly all these presentations for the banana and then the potato, and particularly the presentation from Dr. Patil, and also the presentation from the presentation from the Africa regarding the tuber crops. So I think all presentations are very good. In Bangladesh, actually, we've been trying to establish potato tissue culture and banana tissue culture for a long time, but there's some work is going on, and some commercial companies actually been working. But particularly, we have not achieved that much commercialized, venture in this area. So we are actually still lagging behind. But these crops, particularly banana and potato, are very important for Bangladesh. And although limited scale tissue culture activity is going on, I think that everybody actually mentioned that we have some good, we can develop some collaboration in the future, because Bangladesh needs some training as well in the future, and also the technology that has been developed, particularly for the bioreactor technology and the mass propagation technology has not been achieved in Bangladesh. So, but if you consider the value and the technology, the importance of the technology is very good, and the potentialities are there. So I think I will ask this, the panelists and other things, and also particularly DCIL can help Bangladesh regarding the development of this technology. There are some companies, small scale private companies are actually involved, but they don't know the advanced technology. So they are still behind the present scenario. And also, particularly in potato, they can produce virus-free plantlets, but the mass scale propagation in a virus-free condition they have not achieved that technology. So in my opinion, it will be good that we can develop collaboration in the future. And I think I am very much delighted by this presentation. I think hopefully we can share in the future, and I think Bangladesh and India have the same kind of environmental conditions and the nature of the plant growth and things like that. So we think in the future we can develop a good collaboration. I think I have learned a lot, and again I would like to thank everybody for your nice presentation, Dr. Silvaraj, Dr. Patil, and Dr. Solomon. The presentations are very good, and also this Singh. All presentations are very good. Thank you so much. If you have anything to react, I think I can share in the now.
Thank you so much, Professor Sarkar, for your insight. And definitely, Bangladesh, India, there's lots of similar background, bonding, and there is a great scope for collaboration, particularly for banana and potato culture. Even in BCL, we get a lot of query that we need certain kind of hand holding, and we can, I think, develop some program in future. So I request now Dr. Sanjay Chandak. Dr. Chandak, what do you feel regarding the role of quality mother culture in banana tis culture? Because you have been doing banana tis culture for a long time, and you are supplying plant across India and also outside. So how do you think that quality stock culture is very important? So brief comment. Dr. Chandak, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla, and good afternoon, everyone. I won't take enough time because we are already having short of time, but I congratulate the BCIL team for arranging this very important webinar. The role of quality mother culture is huge. In fact, it's very important in tissue culture. And till date, if I talk about Indian scenario, till date, the companies were developing these cultures themselves with their own know-how. So everyone was doing in a different way. And some of them were importing these cultures from Israel, but which is also very expensive and a time-taking process because some permissions are required. And I'm very happy to learn that BCIL has taken a step forward and to solve this problem and have developed a program to provide quality stock cultures to the banana tissue culture small labs, because these small labs, they don't have that much capacity or that much manpower that people can visit the fields, identify the plants, then collect them. It's a huge, long process. So I'm very happy and I thank the BCIL for taking a step forward to solve this important issue. The quality plant material with BCI culture will definitely have a standard cultures, and the productivity of the field will definitely improve. So it's a very good step. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Chandak. At BCL, we also always believe on the partnership and the quality management aspects. So we have been working with the industry for last 2 decades, and definitely we'll continue our support association with the industry in different capacity. So now I would come to Dr. Wu from TBRI. Is from Taiwan Banana Research Institute. So I would like to know that what is your procedure to confirm the quality of the tis culture banana in terms of the true to typeness, in terms of the virus indexing. So what procedure you have in your country, and do you have any kind of quality management program supported by government? So your perception, Dr. Wu.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to the presenters, panelists, and all the participants. I'm Zhang Guangwu from Taiwan, and I work for the Taiwan Banana Research Institute. To produce banana tissue culture planters, the Taiwan Banana Research Institute follows the system of the 3 types of seed production protocols. We have the breeder foundation and certified seeds, but instead of seed, the material we use is tissue culture planters. We have the Musa germplasm breeding stock, foundation plants, and certified plants to assure the plants are true to type. So first, we do field observation and examine if all the characteristics are true to type. We also take samples and send them to the lab to confirm that they are virus-free. Then we take the sucker for initial culture and keep it in vitro as breeding stock. Second, we deplast some of the breeding stock and plant it in the greenhouse as the foundation plants. Then we do the examination the second time when they are mature. Third, we take the sucker from the foundation plants for initial culture, subculture 3 times, then deplast and transplant them in 5-inch pots in the greenhouse. So these are the certified mother plants. So when we need to produce a certain variety, we just go to the greenhouse and take the potted plants as material for tissue culture. and they are true to type and also virus free. So in terms of the quality problem we have for banana tissue culture in Taiwan, the biggest quality problem is the mutation. So when we do mass production for tissue culture, we know it's inevitable to have mutants, but farmers complain about mutants performing differently, and they may reduce the production. So to maintain the quality when we produce plantlets, we limit the subculture to 6 times only. Each sucker only produces about 2,000 plantlets in total. We also keep the number of mutants as low as possible by removing any distinguishable mutants like leaf mutation during the tissue culture process and also in the nursery. So therefore, we can guarantee farmers that our mutation rate is less than 5%. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wu. And here also we adopt a similar kind of a standard where we define the multiplication cycle, indexing of viruses before starting the culture and before the supply. So it's this kind of similar arrangement. So definitely we can think about having similar kind of program because Asia Pacific, Taiwan, Bangladesh, India has similar kind of background. So there is a kind of opportunity for us. Now moving for the next panelist, Dr. Henry from Naro, Uganda. I would like to ask you that what are the biggest technical challenges you feel that it comes in the way while doing tissue culture, uproot and tuber crop? So biggest technical challenges, what is for your opinion, Dr. Henry, please.
So thank you, Dr. Shukla. I'm Henry Wagaba from Naro, Uganda. And I'm happy to see everybody here, and thanks for the invitation. So cassava tissue culture, just like any other crop or plant, has the same kind of challenges. For example, the main one is usually contamination. Contamination comes as you work on material in the culture, in the tissue culture, and then you find different microorganisms like say fungus, or you have bacteria growing on them. And the only way to manage this is surely sterilize thoroughly as you introduce. And this is usually for material that you're introducing for the first time in the lab. And then the other thing is cassava sometimes has endophytes. So the contamination may not be immediately seen, but with time, after a few weeks, you see bacteria or stuff coming from inside the so that's one of the biggest challenges that we realize here in culture. So basically, it's to continuously clean using ethanol, wiping a lot of benches, just to make sure that you can control this. So the other challenge that we have is
Henry, we lost your voice. I think there is some network issue.
Usually things that go through many cycles. Usually you get that you may have views that may not be properly reconstituted in media. And so this is one of the other challenges that we see. Then also many of the varieties that farmers grow, sometimes recalcitrant. They can't be very nicely cultured in culture, and yet they are very good culinary, very good taste, very good, but they can't be grown in culture. So that's one other challenge that we see a lot. Then the last one that I will talk about is the weaning cassava can actually be a problem. In many cases, sometimes we found that that moving things from the tissue culture into a screen house, sometimes the conditions may not be favoring weaning of these plants. So with time, you need to kind of optimize them. This mainly depends on the environment, the ambient conditions. You need to keep reducing the humidity very, very slowly. The slower the rate at which you're reducing that humidity, the bigger the success rate. So with time, we have learned to optimize this process slowly, which is something that we can learn a lot from other teams that are doing this. So that's what I can submit right now in the interest of time. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. So what I'm thinking, I'll shorten that panel discussion duration. So all the panelists, speakers, they're available with us, so that we can have some question from the audience. Rather than I shall be asking you something, we'll try to get some question from the audience, and the respective panelist speaker, they may address that concern. So I'll not elaborate this panel discussion because of the paucity of time. Otherwise, this would have been very interesting discussion, and I think it would require a full day for the discussion. So I will not take much time because already we are running behind the schedule. So before we come to the interaction with the audience, the third round of poll, very brief.
Hello.
Again, 20 seconds, and we'll just have this opinion from the audience. Then we'll move for the.
नहीं ड्राइवर दूसरा नहीं है पर 1 घंटे में आ जाएगा.
Yeah, I request my team to just flag that poll questions. So now this is the third round of poll, and you might receive this on your screen. This is basically a feedback from the audience. First question, is there a need for an effective regional training platform for promoting tissue culture entrepreneurship in Asia Pacific? You have to select yes or no. Then how do you rate this webinar in terms of enhancing your knowledge in plant tissue culture? Excellent, very good, good, fair. Second last, would you like to integrate knowledge gained during this webinar in your research or extension program? And the last one, does this webinar encourage you to promote tissue culture and establish tissue culture facility in your country? So this is just 4 basic query posted for the audience. Please complete your submission in few seconds. So just we'll wait for 10 seconds and we'll announce the result before we move to the interactive session with the audience. So 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Mr. Sarath, please say result. Oh, very interesting result. 98% from the participants, they feel that there is a need for an effective regional training platform for promoting plant tissue culture entrepreneurship. 98%. Then second, thank you for this positive feedback. Everyone has said is a very good, excellent. No one said it's a fair. So thank you for this compliment. Third, would like to have integrated knowledge, integrate this knowledge for your extension research work? Yes, 92% said that they will integrate this knowledge for their research extension. So as an organizer, as BCL, APARI, we feel very good that you are going to use this knowledge for your further research extension program. Now, whether this encourages you to set up your laboratory in your country? 92% they said yes. 1% they said no, they're not enthusiastic anyway. And just 7% they said not sure. So thank you for this result, this encouraging responses. So with this, we'll conclude this polling session. Third, please stop this there. Okay, so now we are coming to the final session of this program. We have around 10 minutes for the interactive session. Please raise your hand and I will ask host to unmute them so that they can ask question. And also they can, if they will say that to whom it is addressed, that will be nice. So that respective panelist speaker, they can address the question raised by the audience. So first question from Siddharth Tiwari we received. Yes, Siddharth, you can speak, you can unmute yourself and you can raise your question. Yeah, you can speak, Dr. Siddharth. So if Dr. Siddharth is not active at the moment, so you can allow Mr. Raman Kumar Rana. Yeah, Mr. Raman. Please, we can hear you. Yeah, Mr. Rana. You have been unmuted. Dr. Tiwari, you are also unmuted. You can speak. I'm not getting any response from them. So I'll move to the Mr. Hussain Ahmad Nanu. Yes. Mr. Hussain.
Yes, sir. Can you share banana commercial protocol?
Commercial protocol, it means the technology?
Yes, technology.
I think protocol, it is always with the commercial organization, also with the NRC Banana Trichy. So please write to them what I would say. Dr. Silvirajan, he has already shared his contact detail in the chat box, or you can write to us. We'll direct you to the NRC Banana Trichy.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Siddharth, can you hear me? You have been unmuted, you can speak. Or I will now add Dr. Ravindra Kumar. Yes, Mr.
Sir.
Ravindra Kumar.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon, sir. First of all, congratulations for organizing a wonderful webinar with more than 40 international countries. I want to ask when you are going to start this centralized scheme for quality stock culture supply, sir?
Already, I think BCL has written to the companies that it is available with us.
Okay, sir.
And by the first week of next month, this will be available with the support of our industry and institutional partner. It will be available very soon.
Is there any registration or something is?
something you need to submit a form that our CCL team will guide you, and on CCL website it will give that information.
Okay, thank you.
Any information you want from the panelists, from the speakers, any question you have?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So now I will request Jerima. Mr. Muhammad Hussain Ahmad. If you can hear me, that please unmute yourself and raise your question, query. Anyone, those who want to ask something, they can raise their hand. Josveda Bobo wants to say something. I have unmuted him. Yeah, Mr. Bobo.
Dr. Shukla, there is a question from some anonymous person to Dr. Selvarajan. The question is, what exactly is the success rate of bioreactor and our commercial units using these bioreactors for large scale production? Dr. Selvarajan, if you are there, would you like to answer?
Yeah, I'm here. Sir, actually, this we have given to Agro Innovate, like BCAL for ICRS got Agro Innovate, a private company which can give on commercial this one. We have fixed a cost of 15 lakhs rupees for bioreactor technology. That is a new tissue culture banana system. It's a 15 lakhs rupees, and if it is for government, the subsidies there for 2 or 3 lakhs rupees. So we have given to one company now, we situated in Karnataka. They have just recently taken this bioreactor technology. That will be, they are going to implement. Otherwise, yes, the experience what we have with us in our level, the laboratory level, it is a promising one. And as I said, it will be virus free, and again, the variability is very less. It's just 2% or less actually. So one can attempt for Grand 9 banana immediately.
Thank you, Dr. Selvarajan.
And another question is from participants from Vietnam, Khang Nguyen Din. The question is targeted to Dr. Tejpal. Question is, I would like to ask about the formula of nutrient using for aeroponics potato production and how you keep cool to potato root system in aeroponic system. Dr. Tejpal, if you are there, would you like to answer?
We follow the guidelines given by Central Potato Research Institute. So they can write directly to the director, and then they will get the, because technology was developed by CPRI only.
Okay, okay. So
or they will write to, they can write to BCIL. We can connect them to CPRI.
Yes. Because it is very much variety specific, and as I mentioned, because if you do some manipulation and don't standardize with the variety, that might sometime cause some genetic fidelity kind of issue. Particularly, I have seen this in the Indian varieties, the Kufri Bahar. So they can directly write to CPRI through BCIL, and they will give the standard formula for this aeroponics.
Another question is tissue culture derived plants. Who will fix the price? Government or any agency? Who would answer this question?
It is a market driven.
Demand driven.
Demand driven.
And the variety to variety, the cost.
Some plant, it is at 10 rupees, some it goes up to 1,000 also. And sometime if a high production, Even banana tissue industry will struggle and they will have to offer something 1+1 or something, reduce price. So it is demand driven. One has to predict market and produce accordingly. Only thing, when you are doing the commercial agriculture, you have to have multiple portfolio in your product. Else doing 1 or 2 crop will not sustain. One annual crop, one perennial crop, one tree species, then only it is viable. Else doing 1 or 2 crop, this will be very difficult to sustain as commercially. Mr. Mallikarjun wants to say something. I unmuted Mr. Mallikarjun. Please unmute yourself. You have to again unmute at your level. Yes. You can raise your question, Mr. Mallikarjuna. Not able to hear you. So we are moving to the Ramjan Devarjan.
Shukla, thank you. I am Dr. Ramajam from NRC Banana, Principal Scientist Horticulture.
Yes.
I am running one institute project on deduction of somoclonal variant from different banana gardens of India actually. Though there are variations and it is well below 5%. Say for example, in case of granine, only a dwarf variant is there. It is well less than 0.1% only. It is not in alarming, this one. But when you go to the NAIPU one, where it is around 5% variations we could record, a somoclonal variant, though it is not the yield limiting variation. So it means around 5% of plant without side sucker actually, in case of NAIPU one. The somoclonal variants are different. Suppose in case of northern tissue culture garden, some below 5% of plants become green instead of the pseudostem becoming a red color. In case of red banana, there is a color differences in the fruit. Again, it is of course around 2% only. But what I am urging the BCIL is, if you can have a collaborative project to deduct the somoclonal variant with a molecular marker. In a long run, suppose if you go for any robust method for multiplication, we can, if you have a somoclonal variant specific molecular marker, it will be useful. That's what my this one.
Yeah, Dr. Ramjan, thank you for your suggestion. You are also a known expert in this area, so definitely we'll talk separately in separate window.
Thank you.
I'd like to take it up because it's very relevant for the banana industry, because as a farmer they want uniform 2-2 type plants so that they can plant their planting schedule, harvesting schedule. So thank you. So we can take 1 or 2 more questions. I have unmuted those who raised their head. They can ask their question directly. Dr. Jospeda Bobo. Sorry, I'm not. Maybe I am pronouncing the. Yeah. Yes, you're here there. Please.
Hello, sir.
We can hear you. Please.
Sir, can I have some advice on the use of bioreactor? We purchased a bioreactor from Belgium. It's the Vervid one. So, is there any one of you using the same bioreactor so that we can have some advice? So,
I could not get your question. Can you speak a little louder?
We want to rapidly multiply banana inside our lab. And we've been using the Vervid bioreactor, the one manufactured in Belgium. My question is, does any one of you using the same bioreactor, or can we?
No. Mr. Bobo, what we have developed, the bioreactor is our own, and we have filed a patent in Indian Patent Office. We are about to get granted this particular patent for this bioreactor for banana, not the one which you are telling about, that Belgium model.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
How this is taking care of variation is asking.
Okay. How it's only field experience, because we have done brand name banana as well as Rastali. These two varieties we have planted in the field and we have checked actually. So in that the variability is below 2%. That is in fact, we have published this particular results in the research paper. I can share that research paper also. If Bobo writes a mail to director@nrcb@gmail.com, if you write, we will send you the research paper about the genetic fidelity of ECS derived tissue culture plants.
So thank you so much. I had unmuted although I raised their hand. If anyone wants to say something, please raise your question. Else we'll move to the concluding session now.
Okay, my hand is up also.
Yeah.
Okay, I just quickly want to ask, like the bioreactor has been largely used in banana in India. I want to ask if we think it can actually be applied in root and tuber crops, and if at all you think it can be applied in root and tuber crops, then what are the challenges you think may actually arise? I mean, from your experience. Thank you.
Solomon, yes, definitely it can be tried for root and tuber crops also, the one which we have developed, but of course you have to standardize the ingredients and other things. Otherwise, the vessel which we have developed is the one which we have patented. That we call somatic embryogenesis regeneration vessel, which can be you can buy that vessel patent, and once patent is granted, then you can buy the technology also. That's a vessel alone. Of course, you have to standardize the parameters for root and tuber crops if you use our bioreactor, because what this standards is only for banana, but you can use that same the vessel for your crops also. Thank you.
So thanks to all the participants for their active involvement in the entire course of this webinar. They attended all the segment very sincerely and participated in all the poll. Sincere thank to all the speakers, panelists. So with this, with the permission of chair, we can move to the final closing remark by Dr. Rishi Kumar Tyagi, coordinator of EPCOP.
Yes, please.
Sir, I request Dr. Tyagi, who is basically key motivator behind all this, what we thought about this webinar involving all the stakeholders, and who is very keen to promote plant culture as an efficient tool for sustainable development. In fact, we wrote very good success story under his guidance only. Banana tissue culture, then apple rootstock tissue culture success story. So he is the leader behind this all the initiatives. So I request Dr. Tyagi, please place your closing remark.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. Thank you, Dr. Shukla, for giving me the opportunity. In fact, we have been listening all the eminent speakers and the panelists all through this webinar. It has been very refreshing for me, particularly at personal level, because almost 20 years I have been involved in tissue culture, and particularly in banana, ginger, turmeric. I have been doing the tissue culture, but not for multiplication, but for in vitro conservation. So it was quite refreshing to me, and it was refreshing to me to see Dr. Selvarajan and the new developments in the NRC Banana Trichy, where I happen to be the part of NRC Banana Trichy as a research advisory committee member for quite some time. So seeing the progress to the level of the bioreactor, what they have developed, this is something new and very miraculous. What the interest has been shown by Dr. Solomon also, and I am sure the other participants must have shown the interest in the bioreactor. And Dr. Selvarajan, I am sure that once the patent will be granted, then the technology can be sold out. And I think what you had demonstrated or what you have spoken in your presentation, it is very right combination of the academia to the commercial level in one institute. So ICAR has to be congratulated. The NRC Banana has to be congratulated for developing this research protocol to the commercial protocol. And I am sure the industry people are also there who have been learning and listening very carefully that what are the academic institutions come up and that can be applied, that can be demonstrated to adopt it at the commercial level. So it was very interesting, and Dr. Selvarajan and Dr. Solomon has been talking about the root and tuber crops, which are not only important staple crops like cassava, yam, sweet potato in Africa, but in Asia, in many countries of Asia also, these are the crops, particularly in southern part of India is a very important crops like sweet potato and the cassava and ginger, turmeric, they are cash crop also. So Dr. Shukla, when we started thinking about this webinar series, I am very happy to note that we had taken off in a very good note, and the very rich information has been shared, learning across with the different country participants. As you have mentioned, 42 participants are there. Although we started thinking about the APARI member countries for this because the requirement of APARI member countries was surveyed, and one of the requirement was that tissue culture should be popularized. Although we always talk of the high-end biotechnology, but I consider that the countries for the middle income group or the low income group, the tissue culture is equally important. And with that objective, we planned this webinar series. I personally is very satisfied to see the presentations and the example from the industries. I think Dr. Bhagyalakshmi Patil is one of the greatest example to be emulated by many other countries that started with a small room and 40-acre greenhouse structure she has built up. And I am sure that through this business or through this entrepreneurship, she has empowered a rural woman to a large extent to what we could see have the impression in this short video also. Similarly, about the potato, Dr. Tejpal Singh has given. I don't know how many of you know that Hapur is a very small town, a district level city, very small city. But I never knew that in that small city that entrepreneurship can be developed and the seed material of the potato can be developed and can be exported to the different countries. That shows that with the smallholder farmers, with the young and women, what have been shown by Dr. Patil and Dr. Tejpal, that entrepreneurship in the tissue culture is quite promising area where you can improve your income and where you can improve your livelihood. At the same time, you can provide the subsistence to a lot of employees in this entrepreneurship or in this establishment. This is already, we are late and I will not venture into keep on talking because of 2-3 reasons. One is that my throat is also not good. And second is we are already late. And third is that we are, at least where I am located, it is after midnight. So I would like to also, my personal note, to call it a day off. Before that, I say so, I would like to thank, first of all, Dr. Ravi Khetarpal, with whom I have been discussing on this program, and then Dr. Shukla, we developed this program, and we thought that this kind of webinar series, not only for one crop, that holistic way, what Dr. Ravi has also mentioned in his opening remarks, that we have planned it in a holistic way. And and I think this takeoff is very good, and 3 more webinars will also be there. If you may allow me to share this screen, that another will be on 30th June, that will be on the fruits and cash crop, particularly date palm, pomegranate, and sugarcane, and 29th July on the tree and woody plants, And last and fourth webinar will be ornamental plants, which also have very high and cash crop, particularly in the Southeast Asia and Asia. So I thank you, Dr. Ravi. I thank you, Dr. Shukla, all the eminent panelists. And my special thank to Dr. Mahapatra, the Director General of ICR and the Vice Chair of APARI for taking out the time. And in fact, his encouraging words always encourage us to do more and more in this area. So in absentia, thanks to Dr. Mahapatra for his encouragement. And thanks to the speakers and the panelists, and all the more that I thank to all the participants, including the APARI sponsored, APARI member sponsored participants, which make, I could see from the different Southeast Asian countries, in Asian countries who have participated, from Pacific also they have participated, because this tissue culture technology is more relevant to the country in Asia and Africa. And Dr. Shukla had mentioned that a lot of participants from Africa, and we have the eminent panelists as well as Dr. Solomon as the speaker on the root and tuber crops. Panelists from Dr. Wu from Taiwan, who has shared their experience. I think, I'm sure that everyone has been benefited and learned across the experience from the different panelists. And so with this, I thank you one and all. And if Chair wants to say final word, then over to Chair Dr. Ravi.
Thank you, Dr. Rishi, and thank you, Dr. Shukla. I think, Dr. Rishi, you said it all. And I would only like to say very educative, very impressive, and please convey thanks from APARI to Dr. Purnima Sharma, Managing Director, BCIL, who remained busy last 2-3 hours, but we hope we will see her sometime in the future webinar. On behalf of APARI, Dr. Shukla, a big thank you to you, BCIL, Dr. Rishi, my colleague, each and every panelist and each and every speaker and participant. We are really happy to have this show with you all, and we'll be having much more with time. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging word.
But do you have any provision for a group photo?
Yes, we'll have.
Because you are not talking about it, you closed it.
Yo, we missed that. So thanks for reminding, sir.
Okay.
I request all the speaker panelists to switch on the video. Dr. Solomon. So all the panelists, they can, we have a large number of participants, so all will not go in frame. So, but panelists, they can.
Jack, please also capture some screenshot.
Sure.
Dr. Solomon.
Let's do it. Okay, let's do it twice. First one, 3, 2, and a second. Let's do it again. 3, 2. Okay, thank you. It's done.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye till the next webinar. In fact, you may be knowing that each webinar requires the registration. To all participants, please note that each webinar requires separate registration. So see you next time in the next webinar on the very important crops. Thank you so much.
So with the permission of Honorable Chair, sir, can we close it now?
Please. Thank you all. Hope to see you again.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me. And help.